What is going on, every pony? Octavia's Lover is here, and we're going to be reading a different story today. I'm going to be reading both of these stories. This story's chapters are way smaller. We're going to be reading Austraeoh, I think that's how you pronounce it, by Imploding Colon. And the only thing in the description says Rainbow Dash flies east. I've been meaning to read this, but I've never gotten to it. And it's been getting kind of popular lately, but the chapters are really short. So there's like 160 chapters or so, and I don't think it's done yet. So this is gonna be a very long series, but very short chapters. So these will be uploading like crazy, like all the time. So let's get into the first chapter, Sunrise. And if I didn't mention the author, his name is Imploding Colon, which is pretty funny. I must say I giggled a little bit when I heard it. Okay, Sunrise, chapter 1. The morning sun greeted her like a furious torch. Golden beams of light glittered across innumerable cloud tops as Rainbow Dash glided towards the fiery horizon. She felt a cold gust of air rippling across her tail, and she knew the final throes of night were over. Rainbow Dash took a deep breath. A pair of shaded goggles reflected a green world as she tilted her gaze earthward. Pulling her wings to her sides, Rainbow effortlessly drove down through the cloud cover until she was skimming in a series of rolling emerald hilltops. Sporadic ponds and rippling blue streams interrupted what was otherwise an immaculate landscape of high grass and bushy knolls. Several lakes loomed in the distance ahead, sparkling platinum reflections of the rising sun. Rainbow's nostrils flared as she darted mere inches over the pond. Fronds and cattails, she was greeted with every scent and flavor of spring. On a whim, she spun upside down, gliding and allowing her wings to break the top of several emerald blades. As a result, she was christened, I don't know, with a liberal, I think this is liberal, I don't know, I don't want to get political here, but I'm going to say liberal, with a liberal spray of fresh dew. The sensation was cold, tickling the skin beneath her blue coat. It was the first thing that made her smile in hours. There was a deep lake up ahead. The waters were so tranquil that the entire basin could just as well have been filled with pure sapphires. Feeling suddenly exhausted, Rainbow Dash lowered herself to the sandy banks, relaxing her wings for the first time since the prior sunset. Her hooves twisted and dug into the dirt, relishing in their wet, mushy feel against her tingling limbs. Trotting to the very edge of the lake, she raised her goggles, exposing a pair of squinty, ruby eyes that took in the sunrise, and then tilted down to take in her own reflection. Skimming the in. There. Whew. That was a mouthful. I didn't breathe that entire time. Rainbow's mane was wind-blown. It was many-colored threads mixing wildly in a testament to her nocturnal journey. Her coat was unkempt, bespeckled with dust. In spite of her haggard features, the one thing remotely affected was her eyes. They appeared as alive and awake as ever, and she looked herself over, then reached two hooves up to her goggles. Removing the article, she sat down and examined them closely in her grasp. There was a great deal of condensation and grime gathered on the lenses. Rainbow Dash leaned forward and breathed hotly on the goggles, using her condensation. She wiped the twin lenses free. Then she moved to slap them back on her crown. She paused, however, upon seeing the canvas strap on the item. There was an image of a prancing caped foal along with the initials SL. I'm trying to think of anything I can reference that to. I don't know. I'm not going to put too much effort into that. Rainbow Dash smiled gently. She finally placed the article back on her head and gave her reflection one last look. Her blue wings lifted, exposing a dark blue saddlebag strapped around her body, tailor-made to fit her agile figure. The pouches on either side were snapped shut by an insignia of a crescent moon, and from the meager weight of what was lying within, Rainbow Dash knew it was only a matter of time before she needed to find food again. Just then, a familiar sensation struck her, that of a golden glint being shone in her face. Rainbow Dash grunted. She glanced lethargically at what was weighing on her neck muscles. A golden pendant hung down from her throat, and emblazoned, I've never heard that word before, with a ruby shaped like a lightning bolt. Oh, it's her element, I think. For the briefest moment, she felt a wave of dizziness and considered tossing the object viciously into the waters. Instead, she sighed, gave her face one last look, and slammed her head full force into the surface of the pond. After a major dunking, Rainbow Dash flung her head straight up. She gasped as her wet mane filled the air with a wild splash of lake water, revealing the cold sting. She grinned devilishly, slipped her shaded goggles down, and took off once more towards the sky, burning a straight path for the rising sun. The air bit harshly against her wet face. It served to remind her that she was alive. So I guess there was like a flashback, something happened, and she's getting away from it. Chapter 1. Now, see, these really quick chapters. Chapter 1's already over. So I'll probably be uploading these like crazy. So goodbye, everybody.